Namaste and welcome to yAtrA, a journey through traditional performing arts. We've been meeting with some of the most amazing artists in the New England area who have dedicated their life to traditional performing arts. And it has been such a pleasure being around them, performing with them, collaborating with them, and just simply watching them. I've gained so much being around these wonderful artists, and it is time to recognize and acknowledge their contribution in the community. Today with us, we have a very accomplished and acclaimed Bharatanatyam dancer who came to this country in the early 90s and established her dance school, Natyamani. She's won many awards and accolades, out of which Natya Tapaswini describes her perfectly. Having been in the New England area, dedicated to this art form for almost 3 decades, she's choreographed and guided over 60 arangetrams in her school. She's done numerous productions, raising funds for Akshay Patra, and her recent one, Bharatam, celebrated the school's 25th anniversary, raising around $50,000 to help feed 2,500 children for an entire year. She'll be the recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award from the India New England News. It's my pleasure and honor to welcome Srimati Sridevi Thirumalai. Namaste, Sridevi. How are you?
Good, Aparna. Namaste. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. I'm just simply thrilled to see you via Zoom. And I've been missing, the interactions we usually have during every summer. So I just wanted to somehow meet with all of you. So I just came up with this idea all of a sudden. And I've been meeting with our local artists. So it's been an amazing experience.
Wonderful, Aparna. yAtrA is great. I'm so glad you're doing this.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All of us being so homebound. And this is a way to connect. And I'm so glad you're doing this.
Absolutely. It is not just to connect, it is to bring out what usually doesn't, come out. We have seen, arangetrams, we have seen performances, but there are some messages that I think every teacher has it in them, and that needs to be brought out, especially to the students community across the schools, not just few of us, across the schools. So before we actually start with the questions, I want to share the experience of meeting you for the first time in the US.
Oh my.
So let's rewind our life back to the year 2000 when I first came here, got married, and I was very young, very immature, naive, inexperienced. You can put all of those attributions to me.
We are all are. Yes.
And I've told you many times that I'm very passionate about dance, and I went to the Sri Lakshmi temple, and Sridevi. There was like people talking a lot about this somebody called Sridevi, and I just paid a little more attention. I wanted to overhear their conversations, and then, oh my God, did you see the performance? Did you see the choreography? Blah blah blah. And then I couldn't keep it to myself. I just wanted to know who they were talking about. And I asked, who is this Sridevi? And you don't know Sridevi? And I vividly remember this because the very first dancer that I came to know of in this country was you. And of course, right after that was Jyoti. I went to one of Jyoti's brilliant productions. But at the temple, when they were talking about you, I asked them, who is the Sridevi? And they kept telling, oh, she's so beautiful. You should watch her dance. You should watch her students dance. And I think Amrita was not even born. Your daughter Amrita was not even born then, right? And Sudarshan was very little, probably. And I was the curiosity to meet you just built in me so much. I was a little, jealous when they were just She kept praising you so much. I wanted to meet you. And, as, God planned it for us, I met you right at Ashland Temple. And the very first introduction happened at the same temple where I came to know of you. And I was like, oh my God, these people were right about her. And I kept looking at you. I kept looking at you for a long time. And then you just, you came and you spoke so freely. You were so, down to earth. And I was just so flabbergasted with everything about you. And ever since, I have kept and had the same kind of feeling towards you about everything that you have done and everything that you are. So today I'm beyond thrilled to be doing this interview, and I am very blessed to be around so many artists who are so sincere, dedicated, and passionate about not just what you do, but also what you give. So with that, let's start with the questions.
Sure.
So how has COVID-19 changed your life? That's like a standard question I'm asking everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And how has it affected your classes or your performances?
I still remember the beginning, first week of March. I still took my classes and I came back and the children were coming back for their spring break, both Sudarshan and Amrita. And I said, oh, this week, I'm just going to spend time with them. And next week, of course, I'll go back. Suddenly out of the blue, they said, oh, we aren't going back to college. They've asked us to stay back.
Oh my God.
Like, all right, what am I going to do with dance class now? And of course, we have friends in the community, and I spoke to Tara, and I'm like, what are we going to do now? And then instantly, it's like, I asked Ajay because he's the technology behind, I am really challenged that way. So he said, Zoom classes is what it's going to be. Wow. And instantly, we got, it was on my iPad, and then it was too small because dance, you have to see every movement. Then right. We switched to the laptop, and then that was the first week. And then after that, I said, Ajay, I am really straining myself, to see the kids as it is. This is a new medium. I'm not seeing the kids anymore in person. Right. So then instantly the big TV landed in my basement. So that made a lot easier, but it was not easy. I mean, to see children in person, and especially with dance, each and every little movement, right. That needs to be corrected, from the pinky to the eye, to the eyebrow, to the aramandi, name it, right. Where to smile, where not to smile, where to look, So doing it in person, you can go close to them and say, Kana, okkar. You need to sit, right. Or at least I can gently push them down and say, listen, this is what I want. Right. There's nothing that, it's okay with the senior students, but with the junior students, that interaction is what I miss the most. And initially, there was, of course, a learning curve, both for me and the kids. It was not easy. I know I would feel, the first 2-3 weeks was pretty stressful to get everybody going, to make sure that everybody is understanding what I'm trying to say, and they are also, the feedback, right, is as close to as in-person classes. Right. But it took us a few weeks. It took us at least a couple of weeks to adjust, right, to the whole thing. And then I learned, the children learned. So there was a learning process. But now I think we are comfortable. It's nice. And the children have also, it's not just us, it's even the parents. Right. They also have to be committed to this whole process of online classes. And right. So it has really now, this is the new norm. It's been like now 6 months. We seem to right. think this is what it's going to be, at least for the near future. Definitely, definitely, yeah. I think we've now gotten into a comfortable, I would think, but I still crave for that in-person, classes. At least in my senior most class, I just have Amrita, dancing. And right. That's my only right now that, I would love to see all my students back, and hope everything will get back to normal soon. I know. It has been a hard transition
for everybody. But whoever I have met, whoever I've been talking about this COVID situation, they've told that it's been a blessing because I'm able to understand certain nuances that I was, oblivious
Yes.
about and things like that. So
Yeah.
in some ways, it's definitely a blessing in disguise, especially for audio. I think for music classes, I'm more exposed to, where I need to, work on with every
Right.
student.
Right.
So, but
Right.
I was curious about how does it work for dance? Because, there is time lag, when you put the music, they hear the music a little later.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was just curious about it.
So initially that was the learning process for me, but now I have gotten used to it. And also, for a certain portion, if I'm doing something new, I probably have less number of kids dancing, and sometimes it just could be only one person at a time.
Right.
So I can go look more closely, and I can also pin the video on them, and that means that I can see them more closely and give them any corrections or improvement. So that's what now I've gotten used to that. I know that there is a lag, so
Nice.
I understand that a lot better now. But I also there are certain students I say you switch on the music and you dance. So I look everything. I mean, I'm able to hear live, and if there are any talam mistakes, basically,
Right.
or then I say, listen, go back, let's fix it. So
Right.
that's how I've been managing. Yeah.
Right. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So I would like for you to share your experiences being around your gurus, and also your experiences being a guru to many of your students.
Of course, my first guru is my mother. Of course, she didn't know dance or anything, but she is my inspiration. She is everything for what I am today. It's my mother, because I don't think without her sacrifice or her determination to make sure that I practiced every day, I don't think so. I mean, I know now as a child, everybody wants to play, but I remember now, I don't remember playing. It was dance class. Or I remember going to any of these, or a function or something. Amma would say, Achi, time achi, class, and she would somehow find a ride for me. I would hope that she would not find a ride, but sure enough, she would find a ride. Amma, inniku ponuma. That was not that we would socialize a lot, and that was probably one such occasion where I would meet all my cousins and I would play. But Amma said, class I have found somebody, nee poitu vanduru. I would. No, so it is truly, at that time I did not appreciate, but now, if Amma, she is truly my guiding light. She is, and initially I learned from a master, and that was for a very, I should thank the master, because he gave me what Aparna is all about. He was a strict master. And India you would they would you have to sit in Aramati. There is no other choice. So I mean, you can't even think about those things now. That's not, but that was what it was. So not that I really, I made sure that I sat, and I thanked the master for Aramandi, and then I switched to Padmini Ramachandran. I remember there was a dance competition for the elementary school, for the first standard and second standard. And my mother took me to that competition. I danced, and there was another girl who danced, a disciple of Padmini Ramachandran. And she got first and I got second. Amma சொன்னா ஐயோ இல்ல அந்த குழந்தை மாதிரி நீ ஆடணும், நீ அந்த டீச்சரோட நீ have to learn. So we were staying, in Bangalore. Jayanagar is one side, Cook Town is on the other side of town. So Amma said it doesn't matter. It would take like 2 hours to get there.
God.
We should really, our parents will bring them 1 hour, they'll take you back. And it's not I mean, when we learned, you had to take public transport, take 2 hours to get there. Right. Sometimes the teacher is busy, sometimes she has more time, It was all according to whatever our guru, whatever time. You had no.
Absolutely.
So I absolutely loved, just, initially when I look back, I was still, 7, 8, 9. I would just go watch those girls. There were many seniors who were dancing, and Padmini Auntie is just unbelievable when it comes to creativity. That is something, amazing. She'd say, "Idu pannungo, idu vanda, change pannungo," and she wouldn't remember a thing. And there would be productions, happening at this tomorrow, the final rehearsal. She would still change everything and say, "Naaliki idu pannidunuma." And at that time, we didn't have these gadgets, right, to record, or, I was in fact cleaning up my basement. I was showing them the books and the Lekak booklet, I've written. Auntie would dance, and I would quickly write, all of us, not just me, all the students. And I have books like that where I have written in detail what Auntie is showing. That would be the way we would go back and practice. And of course, I learned music. So that helped in terms of just going home, because there was no, even or a tape recorder, and there was nothing that I could take and go. It was all memory. Enna solli kodutado and the paattu solli athla practice pandrathu.
Right.
So I remember just looking at Auntie while she danced, and the number of times we would stay quite late for productions when we would practice, and my brothers would say, "You asked me to come at 6. No, it's not over. It's 8. 8 could go up to 10. And my brothers would say, "I'm not going to take you to dance class anymore."
Oh my God.
And that was with all my dance class mates, and it was so wonderful. The next thing is my Arangetram. Auntie was very busy with Krishnavatar by G.B. Iyer. She was the dance part of it. She choreographed. And then my Arangetram was on February 17th, Shivaratri night.
Wow.
So she was, and she was busy all the way up until December. Amma was getting nervous, and she's given me a full, 12, 13 items. Everything is new.
Wow.
Nothing has been choreographed as yet. So she said, "Oh, no, paravalla. Nanga January, start panni. February 17th, avella ready aara. Neenga kavaliye padadingo."
Wow.
Was my varnam. So everything, we did everything. And I still did my Arangetram on the 17th. So
amazing.
That was pretty intense. I would go hours, Kanaka,
Right.
So we started late December, but she had me ready, by February. And and then of course we did many programs together, and going for my scholarship in Chennai. She had, we went a year early when I was 17. The people said, "Ninga 17, ninga 18 aano. 18 ana ungalku, we would have given you at 17, but the age bar irukku, ninga next year varungo." So we went back, and she was very nice. She knew Chennai, and but she was just an unbelievable creativity, and she would customize it to the student.
Right.
And she was one such teacher. Or kalla kuduthu, she would sculpt it. Ivula, I'm like, this, she had that in her.
Amazing, yeah.
And that is truly a blessing to have been around her. She's no more. She came for Amrita's Arangetram. She came from Amrita's Arangetram. She was the chief guest when he did in Bangalore. Of course, she's not. But it was a blessing. So she saw Amrita, she saw me.
Absolutely, yeah. Totally.
It was so beautiful. It was, I think that is my most cherished memory of there for Amrita's Arangetram. That was the best. Yeah, that is a blessing. Yeah.
Amazing. 1 second, Sridevi, I think, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah,
sorry,
I can hear you.
Sorry about
No, I can hear you. I don't know, there are a lot of the skylight, there's a whole lot of, I don't know if, is
light
it
on you? It looks okay? Fine. It looks fine.
All right. Sorry.
Unless you are disturbed or distracted.
No, not at all.
It looks nice actually.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. With my students,
Your experiences being, a teacher for so many students you have here.
It's you learn from your teachers, and you kind of pass the same tradition to your children, to your students. And I've been very, very blessed, fortunate. I remember after getting married and I came here, அப்போல்லாம் அவ்வளோ பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் பண்ணினப்பா, இது பெரிய நியூ இதுக்கு வந்துட்டு இருக்கிறேனே, என்ன பண்ண போறேன், got married and I came here. But thanks to Ajay, he is everything. I mean, truly my backbone. He is the person. So the first year I performed every organization, I performed. I got to know people, and slowly, in 92, I started. And it's been a great journey. Started small, and in 98 I had the first Arangetram, and I still remember Sudarshan was 3 months old.
Wow.
Right after 6 weeks I started teaching, and he was 3 months old, and then and it has been a fabulous, fantastic, again with blessings of gurus and elders. It has been a wonderful journey, and I'm fortunate to be here in New England and surrounded by a wonderful community. That's what
Yes,
it is.
totally. Yeah.
Absolutely. And all the artists, right? I mean, we're all so supportive of each other. We're doing our own thing. We're happy doing our own thing. We're happy for each other.
Right.
I think that's the best thing. And looking back, I think this is my second home, and wonderful. Surrounded by great people.
Absolutely. So that's the reason I'm even, trying to get everybody on this platform, because one thing is to, leave our country and come and try to reestablish ourselves.
Right.
But the other is like having somebody sown the seeds for us and us reaping the benefits out of that.
Totally.
In communities, is such a great blessing. So that's basically the idea of, meeting people through Kala yAtrA. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So what aspect of Bharatanatyam interests you the most? Abhinaya, footwork, poses, hand gestures, eye movements, etc.
ஒண்ணும் கிடையாது. You need to have everything. You need to like everything. To be a complete dancer, you need to have layam, you need to have abhinaya, you need to be flexible to do poses and mudras, everything, Aparna. Idu adenu kadiyadu. You need music.
You mean to say you can't separate it?
You can't. You need to be good. If you have to give somebody something, I think you need to be good in everything. And I like it. Every aspect of it, a good blend of everything.
So there's no one thing that particularly that's your interest or attention.
Like when people are doing Jati Suram and Tillana, Varnam Jati Sala, Nana, Angashudya, Okandu Panungo, Tala, Layo Badama Irkade. Padamertan Pana, do justice, Abhinayana Panungo. இப்போ நீங்க ஒரு சிவா போஸ் பண்ணி ஒரு முத்ரா ஒரு போஸ்ல நின்னு whatever pose, hold that pose, அந்த ஸ்திரத்துவ அது இருக்கணும், அது நில்லுங்கோ. முத்ரா எல்லாம் நீட்டா, hold your mudras nicely. So I would think everything based on what item that you choose, you do justice to that. If it's a completely abhinaya piece, do justice to that. You try to emote as much closely to whatever that particular song renders to. So
very nice. So you do see this art form as a wholesome concept and not focus on just one thing?
No, I think it's like, ஒரு டேபிளுக்கு 4 ஸ்டூல் 4 லெக்ஸும் வேணும் for it to stand stable.
Right.
So I think everything is needed. So so I would say everything to make you a complete dancer.
Thank you for sharing that. So what takes what does it take to be a good choreographer? And what are the components you think in your mind that you need for good choreography?
Choreography is a process. இது ஒரு process. இது ஒரு experience. When I look back in my journey, early 90s, whatever that I was trying to, choreograph, I look back now and say, yeah, Indu Madri, what is this?
Right.
Or I've come back to early 2000. I've seen arangetrams of my own children. Hey, and
Right.
now I look back, now I see, it is a learning process. The more experience you have, the better you will be in choreography. Also important, I have seen my teachers. So, ava eppadi choreograph pannirukra. Especially with my teacher, I tell that to my students also. இப்போ choreograph பண்ணிருக்கிற next திரும்பி next classல வந்து நீங்க என்ன பண்ணேல் என்ன கேட்டா definitely I will not remember.
Right.
Please make a note of it. நீங்க போய் definitely instant நீங்க practice பண்ணுங்க. You commit it, commit to your memory.
Right.
And you come back. But if you ask me, otherwise I'll give you a different version of it.
Right.
That is truly my guru's blessings. Padmini Aunty, I've seen her. She's just, that is something, avaloda kataksham solla, that whatever I do today, that it kind of, it brings, it goes back to my own learning with my guru. So choreography under the, of course you should have learned extensively. You should have learned extensively. Either 4 வருஷம் பண்ணி நான் choreograph பண்ணேன்னா அது கட்டாயமா அது it will not. And just doing 1 or 2 items and say, oh, now I'm a choreographer, that will also not work. So you must have had considerable learning. And then, of course, I would say you start choreography. And it's also just experience. And if you have the that you can learn from a guru as many years as possible, do so.
Right.
Especially a teacher who's benevolent, who's going to give you learn from the teacher, because that is something, that's a treasure.
Right.
That's a treasure, so that you won't get. So I would say learn as much as you can before you, and there's no harm in choreography, but it's a process though.
Yeah, I mean, they have to internalize every aspect, right? So choreography involves, as I said earlier, it involves a lot of things, a lot of components, and it doesn't, stop with just abhinaya or just the jati. So you need to internalize a lot. Do you insist that your students learn music so they can actually?
Yeah, sorry. Music definitely helps. Definitely helps, especially when it comes to thalam, the sense of rhythm. But when it comes to abhinaya, you can emote a lot better. Not because they know when people learn, meaning is not needed.
Right.
The teacher already sings in a set, and the bhava automatically
yields to the music. That's true.
The ragam, there is a song, and that kind of, even though you don't know the meaning, and the paadum you know what rasa is, or what the composer is trying to address. But dance, you have to know the meaning.
Okay.
You have to understand the meaning. But music plays a vital role. Not everybody learns music, by the way, because of various reasons. Some people do Carnatic, some people do Hindustani, some people are just not exposed. But in my experience, there are some kids who have, but they'll be very good in piano. They'll be very good in something else.
So they do have a musical background somehow, right?
Yeah. So they are able to, and the thalam, you can see right away.
Right.
And emote, even abhinaya expressions. But learning music is a plus, though. Definitely a plus. Yes. For dancers, it is, I would recommend. Music helps in a large way. Yes.
It's just like how, sometimes, music teachers say it is important to know the meaning when you're singing. So you say it is important to know the music.
Yes. For dance, important. Yeah. Important to know the music, important to know the meaning, and the bhavatoda, and the anubhavchi. I think all of these are various aspects that will make you a better dancer.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, in my opinion, dance is by far the only art form that includes or uses all our faculties memory, physical coordination, balance, hand gestures, eye, head movements, voice. In olden days, it was
Vachika was there.
mandatory. Yeah, it was mandatory to sing and dance, right? So
Yeah.
music was mandatory to learn.
Yeah. Yes.
So how do you balance all of this into your choreography? Or have you thought about these uh, when you choreograph?
Dance is, of course, it's a mind and body thing. Everything has to align. Only when it aligns, you're able to do it. You're able to do it completely, or you're able to do justice to it. It is again the training of the mind. Initially, you see children, you know, ஒரு இடத்துல it's like probably ஒரு இடத்துல உட்கார்ந்து பாடுன்னா they will get distracted.
Right.
Likewise,
Right.
dance is even more, they're here, they're there, and you can, but slowly that I have noticed over a period of time, they will channelize. They will, that mind and body will become one.
Right.
And they're able to definitely incorporate whatever, the mudras or the aramandi. And also when you teach, right, you start off doing only the footwork.
Right.
Less things to focus on. Then you add the next component of hand gestures.
Hand gestures.
Then you put the feet and the hands together. Then you take simple things as alaripu.
Right.
It's just a warm-up exercise. Then you go to a little bit of jati swaram, right? And then a little bit more in terms of
So
thalam.
it's progressive, you mean?
Progressive.
Yeah.
Then you go
Yeah.
to shabdam. That's the
Right.
first time shabda, the words. Adhu go simple, in devotion to whatever, with the book, song towards Murugan or Krishna or something like that, right? And then you come to the Varnam part, where you're trying to, before Varnam, of course, you learn a lot more Kautavams and Padams and Tillanas. Nritta is what you master first.
Right.
And then you come to Abhinaya, because Abhinaya is more abstract.
Right.
At least where, how can I move their facial muscles?
Right.
To make the children even to smile is the first step. And
Right.
then you get more in detail with Abhinaya. And Bhakti is, of course, a lot easier to begin. And then, of course, more complex as Shringara. That comes later.
Most complex, would you say?
Yeah. Most complex. I still remember at 13, for my Arangetram, auntie did one Kannada Javali, Matanada Bharade, Savi Matan. Sangha Sukha. I mean, you have all of this. But believe me, I just copied.
Okay.
Auntie, I just did that. But did I understand what was happening there? I just memorized the actions and I did that. So, but coming here to this country, I probably would not do that Javli at 13.
Right.
I would go, I mean, that is something that I have learned. That's my experience, that I would do Bhakti. It's a lot easier.
Right.
And then go into, of course, Varnam, Shringara Varnams alike. Then go into Padams, Javalis, all of that. Yeah.
So according to the age, you choose the concept of the main emotion, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
For example, in a Varnam. So I was asking you, how do you incorporate all these different aspects? So when you conceptualize an idea or a particular emotion, so do you mean to say you go according to the age of the child? So
it's not even the age, it's just the child.
Okay.
Who is capable? It's not the child. It's not the age.
Okay.
Each child, I mean, each student, they have their strong points. They have their not so strong points.
Right.
So you work with the child. You pick items that will actually, make the child shine. Avaloda best. Of course, incorporating everything.
Right.
You have to have a good balance on Nritta and Abhinaya. You can't make anything one heavy. You can't do that.
Right.
Avaloda strengths paathu, then you choose a piece when I choreograph.
Very nice. Have you had any students, male students, voice in your teaching
I had
experience?
two students, but predominantly girls.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So how do you instill values in students like hard work and disciplined practice? I often find children don't have problem with hard work as such. They have a problem with commitment to hard work, commitment to disciplined practice, continuous practice, commitment to regularity. So if it's just one thing out of the blue and we are putting some energies to it, usually in general I see that children are more okay with it. But when it comes to continued practice and it comes to regularity,
Hmm.
a commitment towards hard work, that is when I often find students having a little bit of a problem. So how do you instill values in a way that they understand the benefits and the value of working hard continuously?
Yeah, initially, right, when these kids come to you as 5, 6 year olds, what are you going to, you can only say, hey, you have to practice. But what I have learned is I hold the parents responsible.
Hmm.
And it doesn't matter.
Right.
And the girl, because 5, 6 year old, I still remember my mother took me to task if I didn't practice.
Right.
Parents, initially, it has to be parents. Parents have to commit. If they can take half an hour out of their schedule, it's not going to be easy.
Right.
It's never going to be easy because it takes a lot of discipline on the part of the parent to make sure that the child practices.
It's a teamwork, right? It's a
It
commitment.
is a teamwork. It's
Yeah.
the student that initially the parents will, you have to handhold, you have to make sure they have to create the discipline and say, you practice.
Right.
And now, I mean, over a period of time now, there is no point in me asking the little child. Of course, now we are all a little older, young parents who come to class. I say, practice practice I'll have to check with you because I can't reason out with a 6-year-old.
Right.
7-year-old. Practice I will set all the discipline and teach you, and I can be a strict teacher. And of course, whenever is needed. But I need the parents' help.
Right.
If the parent, the teacher, and the student, we are all on the same page, guaranteed success.
Right.
One of us are not doing whatever that we are supposed to do, and you expect
results.
Great results. It isn't going to happen. So let's
Right.
let's be real about this.
Right.
So I do tell the parents, you have to have a reality check-in. I mean, you can't say, oh my God, my children after this many years are going to. I said, have you done the practice to expect that sort of a result?
Right.
And just before exam, these things, you can't just study just before 2 months and dance. Absolutely not. This is a good 8-10 years of good work ethic.
Right.
So I am that way. Most children I should say are good about it.
Right.
Children have to learn to be sincere. It's not about sending me logs of I did this and I did 1 hour and I say, hey, நீங்க ஒரு 3-4 times 1 hour பண்ணிட்டே இதுக்கு அதுக்கு correlate ஆலியே நீ என்ன பண்ணியோ இதுக்கு கொடுக்கிறதுக்கு don't send me these things. If your practice can be half an hour, it doesn't matter, but let it be sincere, like the way you dance in front of me. Right. So but most children have adapted. I mean, now especially via Zoom, children have been doing really thanks to parents, thanks to the children themselves, they have been motivated and they are practicing well. So that way I'm blessed. Good community, nice. Good number of good students and good parents.
Very nice. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Coming to you, what have been your strengths and your struggles as a student and then now as a teacher?
Well, strengths. As a student, as a teacher?
When you were a student, what were your strengths and struggles? And what are your strengths and struggles after you have become a teacher?
Strengths as a student. I guess I can't think of as a student. I enjoyed every bit of it. It was tough. Auntie was a tough teacher. I had to memorize things just like that, and I had to work hard to get all the good roles in any of these productions. And I was in a group of very talented students. And if you had to stand out, you had to be good. There was no way that I could not practice and go there and say, oh, guess what, I didn't get. No, if I wanted those roles, I had to earn it. And those were and thanks to my teacher and my mother, that as a student, I was able to, yeah, of course, I didn't, do all the things that my friends did, my other friends did. But it's good. Now when I look back, at that time, probably I was not too happy, but I was happy when I got all the roles, and I had to practice. Of course, the only thing is I didn't like the commute. Because it took me 2 hours to get to class. But I enjoyed every minute of it.
So in your mind, would you say earning those roles were like a small goals for you to reach? So you motivated yourself towards that, right?
Yeah, definitely. Those goals were, because all of them were very good. They were all very good. And I had to, show that I was good, and I had to learn quickly. And I always tell my students, the more you practice, the faster you will learn. You'll be able to grasp quickly.
Right.
These are for the junior and the intermediate students. Senior students have already gotten there. But the junior and the intermediate students, some are able to grasp quickly and some are not. Why? Is because they've put in the time.
Right.
They have gone back to practicing their adivals right from the beginning, and not just the new lesson. You have to kind of keep going back to those basics. And any combination, any talam, anything complex, you're able to learn, grasp quickly. That was something that will come only with practice. And I think, weakness, and I don't know, as a student, yeah, maybe I could have done everything a lot better, I suppose. I don't know. But I remember weakness and not music. I mean, this is nothing, my mother said, no, music, ni odanga practice panni, could have done well. So now today I realize, yes, I could have done a lot better if I had put in the same amount of time and diligence and dedication as I did for dance or music. And she definitely said, one day you will regret that you did not put in that kind of time. And I absolutely say, yes, 100% right.
Right.
As a teacher, my strength, I'm just, I like to believe that I motivate kids, students to do really well. And I say everything, whatever that you learn in dance, the lessons that you take, this dedication, this passion, the discipline, just the respect for the art form and for the guru. If you can just put this elsewhere, in whatever that you learn, you will achieve great things. There is no doubt about that. Weakness, I do get mad at students. I can get really upset with them for having not practiced, and I would have expected that out of them, and some for various reasons. And especially when little children, I say, don't even, especially when little kids says, oh, I was busy. I said, doing what?
I know. Tell me about it.
Oh, I was just busy. I said, no, don't give me. So that's when I probably will lose my patience a little bit. But I'm known to be strict. That is how my teachers were. And I'm not going to, bend those rules for anybody.
I mean, you do become a teacher just like how you were taught, right?
Yes.
So I've seen that.
And to get the best out of the student, it's okay. It's okay to be strict. It's okay to say, listen, I don't like it. Because it's fine. Every time probably outside they say you're good, you're great, you're awesome, but that's not the reality. Hey, you have to earn. You have to become good.
That's
even
true.
there's whole lot of practice. So I would think, yeah.
Very true. And it is important to draw the line because, of course, when children do well, we should appreciate. I'm not saying no.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have to be honest with them. Then, it's when it comes to places where they need to put in more effort, we can't lie about it. Yeah.
No, and really to be using the superlatives all the time is not at all necessary. அவளுக்கு சொல்லியே ஆகணும் இது நன்னா இல்ல இது நீங்க போய் கரெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு வாங்கோ. I mean, yeah, absolutely. When they practice, you give them, you tell them, good, I'm so happy to see this. And that's because probably you worked, hard.
Yes.
So I think to find a balance, to get the best out of the student. So
very nice. So you have made your passion your profession. So what would you say your experience has been, and what have been the advantages of that as well as the struggles, if any?
Really, I am very blessed. Very few people can do what they really love, as their passion and make it as their profession.
Right.
Fully. And it is God's grace. I love dance. And the best time that I have is when I'm with my students. I forget everything. If people want to call that as your own meditation, that's what it is, where you forget everything else. And being with my students in the studio choreographing, that's the best part. Sorry, you said was the passion as a profession. So yes, and for that I have to thank my husband. I really have to thank Ajay for really, he said sky is the limit, do whatever, and he has been so supportive of what I have done, what I'm doing, and what I will do. It's he has been an amazing support for me, so I have to thank him. And the children, they being exposed to music, they being exposed to Tara, and it's just that everything kind of blends.
Right.
Struggles was, of course, initially when I came, it was a shocker. ஐயோ அந்த மாதிரி ப்ரோக்ராம் அவ்வளெல்லாம் இருந்ததேப்பா, இங்க வந்துட்டு இருக்கிறேனே, where am I going to do? And I still remember finding Ajay called. I said, we were in an apartment, we couldn't practice. Like, Ajay, I have to practice. And so he had called up Shrewsbury Middle School, and I remember the custodian opening the gym, and I went there to practice. And those were my struggles initially, just trying to see whether I can do everything. I mean, I did so much, but slowly and surely I was able to. It all started small, and then slowly it kind of grew, and I'm so happy to be doing this now.
Thank you for your dedication, your determination, and your passion, that we have such a wonderful teacher in this area. And
thank you. And
I don't think people have to be in your school to learn from you. That's exactly my point. We don't have to be in every school. Just go and interact with the teacher to come to learn from the teacher, right? So you can learn from anybody, in my opinion, and through any means, through a small interaction, through an interview like this. So I am very thankful to you for that. So I know we have discussed a lot about it. How do you motivate yourself to continue to do this? I know you're determined, you have this in you to continue on the path. Have you ever felt, oh, I should have done that, oh, had I been in India, oh, this? Have you ever felt like that, or it has been just what you do and the results? So what has motivated you?
I can't say initially when I came here, I was like, I'm here. Okay, what am I, should I have gone back to India? Should we have moved back? And, then slowly I performed, everywhere. And I was like, oh, people said, there's a new, performer. And so slowly I started teaching. And teaching, I wasn't doing that much in India. Here it was, and then through them, I could share something that was very, very close to me. There was something that was very dear to me that I could share. And then I was, performing as well. And again, you'll have to.
No, I know you have said everything already. I'm just asking this question again, just to reiterate to the students. What has kept you motivated?
What is
Yeah.
Just, I mean, this dance and or madness. Nee panname irunda, I think even I don't know if you will have taught. You said, I need a week off. At the end of the week, you'll say, "Hare, something is wrong. I need to get back."
Totally.
And yes. Like, what something is? Either I will have probably snap at people at home, not right. Then I'll say, I'll go tell Jay, I said I'll take a week off or 2 weeks. I'm already feeling I need to get back.
Yeah.
That's a madness, Aparna. You call that? I need to go back. That is my sustenance, just to be sane. I need to see students. I need to teach. I need to sing, and I need to dance in my class. I'm not a great. I'm not performer. I don't perform as much, but just when I'm there, when I am dancing, when I'm in my class showing them different moves, and
absolutely,
that is the best thing. I think it is just in you now. It's in your.
It's become part of
panna, yeah. It's like water and food. I think I'll go insane.
Right.
I have to dance. I have to see. I think that's what motivates me. That's what. And just seeing students, right? And then some students, you say and they dance, and it's immediately, you see that vision. There's a whole lot of satisfaction in what you do.
Right.
So I think it's just now, it is, it is part of you.
It's inseparable. Yeah, I understand.
Totally. They go hand in hand, everything. So I enjoy it.
You first allow the art to grow in you.
Yeah.
And then you grow into the art.
Absolutely. And then at a point it consumes you. It just, it's there in you. And it gives you a sort of happiness that you cannot describe.
I know. And there's no match to it. It's unmatchable. Yeah.
It is, you're so happy.
Right.
So, that happy place, whatever that you call.
Absolutely.
Through dance for me. So, yeah.
What is your message to young aspiring artists, students who want to take up performing arts seriously and also make it a profession?
Learn. I would say if you have the opportunity and you have a guru that you like and a guru that where you have created a bond over years, and you have that opportunity to learn as much as you can. When you're ready, I'm sure you'll know your teacher will be there, but always have your teacher's blessings.
Right.
And the guru katakshu irukkanam. Adu romba mukkam. That is what I have, over a period of time. That is my understanding. That's my message to the kids. Learn as much as you can.
Right.
When you have a guru who can teach you, who can impart as much, learn, treasure, get all of that.
Yeah.
And then be sincere with your practice. First of all, kattugano. You have to learn. There's no such thing as evil and apanna. Ipo I'm going to do. Adilla nee kattugano. I myself, you have to learn, and you have to practice, and you have to be sincere with your practice. If you're going to dedicate and make this as a profession, it requires a lot of patience. It requires a lot of perseverance. You can get frustrated, but you have to kind of go beyond that.
Right.
Then you can. And being a performer and being a teacher are two separate things.
Right.
They are not the same. They're not.
They are not the
Being a
same.
performer,
Yes.
yeah, and perform as much as you can, but taking the role of a teacher is very, very different.
Yeah.
So
It's a big responsibility.
it
You
is
have a
huge.
lot of accountability. Yeah.
Yeah, it is huge. And that is a huge commitment.
It is.
You ask yourself whether you can go and are ready to take that sort of a commitment if you're going to make that as a profession. And you will learn, there'll be ups and downs. Not everything will work the way you want.
Right.
You will grow, So my thing is practice, learn as much as you can, and be sincere in what you do, and I'm sure it'll all work out.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. Great message. Thank you, Sridevi. Thank you for spending your valuable time with me in sharing your ideas, experiences, and perspectives about Bharatanatyam and other art forms. And stay safe. I wish all of you a wonderful start to the next academic year. I'm sure children are, trying different things, hybrid, online classes, remote classes. So wishing them, success in everything that they do. And thanks to Ajay for sharing your valuable time and also supporting a wonderful teacher like you, because the community really deserves that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Aparna, I should say, remember you started out with the New England Hindu Temple?
Yes.
You did say what you thought of me, and now I say what I thought of you. And I looked at you, there's a stall, and I said, எனக்கான ஒரு 2 inches tall இருந்தா நல்லா இருக்குமே. And I said, here is a beautiful woman, long hair, and I thought you are a dancer. That's it. He is a dancer.
Thank you.
I didn't even think of you being a musician. பார்த்த உடனே இவ டான்சர் தான் கட்டாயமா. And then of course you said you were a musician, and I said probably you've learned dance as well, right, Aparna?
I did learn. I did progress quite well, but I was forcefully made to quit. So that's my biggest regret in life. But I think music came a little harder to me. Dance was easier, and one door was closed. So all my energies and everything got channelized into music. I was badly able to sing when I was young, and everybody discouraged me to, sing or open my mouth, actually. So it was quite a struggle. But I think, with continuous hard work and determination, you can do anything in life.
Absolutely. You are an amazing performer, a teacher. I mean, when I looked at you the first time, I said, she has to be a dancer.
I wanted to become a dancer.
And long hair. He has to. And you were so beautiful. And you're still beautiful. But that was when I looked at you. But I'm so happy. Thank you for doing Kala Yatra. I mean, these are things that I wouldn't even, even in a classic whatever. I'm not even thinking about all of these things. But thank you for, for me to go back memory lane, think of my gurus and my experiences. And it was wonderful. It was wonderful to share.
If anything, COVID has actually taught us to be thankful for what we have. And I left everything behind and I came here, and it was a fresh start. And I look back and I see what the community has given me. And I've taken so much from all of you, just being around you. And I felt, in some way I have to express that, right?
Amazing. It's a wonderful thing.
Thank you. It means a lot to me.
You came up with this concept, and looking forward to it. And I'm so happy that I was able to share my thoughts and my experiences with you.
Thank you. I'm so glad I caught you, because I know, your classes will start full swing starting this month. So I'm very happy, and thanks to your entire family for sharing your valuable time with me.
Thank you. Thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you
Namaste.
so much.
Thank you so much. Namaste.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah.